Where do you hold your emergency fund or your cash reserve? Does it actually matter? Well, I've got a little creativity, that more coming up. My name is Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. Meeting with a client recently who's been accumulating some resources, not by accident. The guy is hustling. He and his wife, they work extremely hard, and yet their $50,000 emergency fund, that's their goal, has ballooned over the past 15 months or so to around $400,000 and actually continuing to grow. And you might say, oh, we should all be so lucky. Well, listen, they're sort of in transition. They're looking at moving. They're looking at buying a plot of land and potentially building long-term in the future, but then also looking at buying some into a family business. And so therefore, accumulating cash has come from several different sources, and yet it's sort of earmarked for a few really big ticket items. So not necessarily dollars that can be sent downstream, saving up for retirement. They need to be accessible in the short term, need to be safe and secure, but yeah, a lot larger than the normal amount that they have in cash. So what do you do? What do you do with these resources? Is it appropriate to just keep them in the bank? Well, not all bank accounts are created equal. This individual is holding them in a high yield money market, which is often what we'd recommend. You know my 3 rules for savings accounts. It's got to be FDIC insured. It needs to be free. You shouldn't be paying the bank to hold on to your money. They should be paying you, right? And then it needs to be liquid. If you need the dollars, you need to be able to go access them, not go through a few partitions and, hop on one leg and pat your head and all that sort of stuff. It needs to be liquid. So those are the 3 rules. And then after you hit those 3 rules, go get the best interest rate possible. So he's in a high yield money market at his local bank, and he's actually proud of the interest rate that he's getting, still about 4%, even though a lot of these are coming down below 4%. And I mentioned, hey, you'll probably be a little bit below 4% here coming up soon. So he was satisfied. And again, it meets the purpose for these dollars, that they are potentially short term, they need to be liquid and all that sort of stuff. However, we happen to be delivering their tax return at the exact same time, and walking through it, we talked about a different idea for those dollars. As you can imagine, the amount of interest that they had to pay taxes on that landed on their tax return grew significantly from 2023 to 2024 as these dollars were accumulating, and likely to stay elevated or maybe go up even more in 2025 because of the amount of cash that they're holding. Earning the 4% in the money market account is good. You're getting a good return on your dollars. However, it's all taxable, both federal and at the state level. So here's another idea: Treasuries. That's right, Treasuries. So Treasury bills, Treasury bonds, an all Treasury investment. Okay, now those are a few different flavors, but let's go through that punch list, those rules. Is it safe? Now, I'm going to replace FDIC insured with safe, because Treasuries are not FDIC insured, but they are backed by the full faith and authority of the federal government. So I'm going to call that a wash. Yes, extremely safe. Free? Yes, they're available. What about liquid? That's where it starts getting a little less convenient, okay? Because if there's a treasury that you're owning, an individual treasury bill, treasury note, treasury bond, you actually have to sell that, convert that into cash before you can receive the dollars, and that will take a couple of days. It's a little inconvenient. If you're using an all treasury exchange traded fund, something like that, that's a little more convenient, but it still will take a day or so to sell, and then a couple days or so to withdraw the money. So not quite as convenient as a money market, but I wouldn't call that illiquid. Well, what's the difference? The interest rate's actually a little bit higher, the treasuries that we were looking at, still in the 4% range, but closer to 4.5%. But here's the big difference. Is it taxable? Is it taxed at the federal level? Yeah, it's taxable. But is it taxed at the state level? It's not. It's sort of counterintuitive. It doesn't really make sense. Treasuries are issued by the federal government. If you're going to get a tax break, you'd think it'd be, the tax break would be at the federal level. No, they're taxable at the federal. But many states, they're tax-free. And in Indiana, where the individual lives, it would save them about 5% in state taxes. So for you, where's the right place to hold your cash reserve, your emergency fund? Continue to keep it in a high yield money market, or would it make sense, depending on your situation, would it make sense to explore using some treasuries, either directly, Treasury Direct, or holding the actual notes, or potentially a Treasury, all Treasury exchange traded fund? Work with your certified financial planner on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K, wisemoneyshow.com. You can find us there as well, or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.